Hey girls, I can hear you very verbally down here. Hey Lauren. Earrings are all funky. There we go. Okay. All right. So welcome, guys. I just want to thank you all for being here tonight and taking, it'll probably be about 50 minutes, 45 minutes of your time tonight to learn about CBD, the quality of CBD, what it does in our body, how it works in our body, and the different subspecies that we have, because I think it's super important. Sorry, I don't know how to turn my notifications off either, so you might hear lots of dings going off. Bear with me. So I just wanted to welcome you here. And again, this is like my first Zoom where I'm sharing my screen, so bear with me. We're gonna be learning this all together tonight. So just some features that you guys might want to know about. So it looks like everyone is muted, just so you know. That way it keeps background noise at a minimum, and that way everyone can hear the information being shared. There is also, if you want to ask any questions, and I'll go back through tonight and see if I can see if you guys have any questions that I can answer. But at the bottom of your screen, if you're on your computer, I'm not quite sure what it looks like on your phone, but there's a little chat feature. It looks like a little talk bubble that you can click, and then you can ask questions. If anyone wants to answer questions, if you know some of the answers, feel free to do that. So that chat feature is there for you. So a little bit about myself. I am a wife, a mom. I was an elementary ed teacher, and 5 years ago, not even that, no, Hannah, 7 years ago, we decided that I would stay home. I came home just to be, a wife and a mom and the caretaker of our home. And I dove headfirst into just learning more about natural options for my family. Got involved with Young Living, went back to school to become a holistic health coach, went back to school, currently in school right now for functional medicine to learn more about female hormones. So I'm totally geeking out on just the whole health revolution that's happening, loving it. People are asking questions, people are stepping outside the line and questioning the things that are happening in our society. And I love that. I think that we need to do more of that. So we also homestead. My husband and I are radical thinkers. Like I said, we kind of question things that are happening. We do a lot of research. So I never want to be the end all be all. So anything I say tonight, please, please, please just take on your own and do some research. I just want to be that pivot point of, I'm going to research a little bit more about what she said. So I have my own understanding. So everything I'm going to share tonight, it's a lot of information. I took a class by Dr. Doug Corrigan. He's a chemist. It was like a 6-hour class. It was broken down into modules. And so I took his slides, which we had rights to after we purchased his class, and went through his class. And so I condensed it into this 45-minute hour presentation instead of 6 hours for you, okay? And making it understandable for you so that you can go ahead and be an educated consumer. So my first experiences with CBD oil probably was about 5 years ago. My mom started using it for when she would fly. She would get a lot of anxiety when she flew, and so she researched some companies and she bought her first CBD dropper, right? my grandmother was purchasing CBD balm, like a balm that you put on your hands, but it was homemade from her neighbor down the road. And I was like, what are you doing, Nana? Is this legal? Like, he's growing it in his backyard and making this CBD cream. I have no clue what you're using. So she was using it on her arthritic hands. That was 5 years ago. And then fast forward about a year ago, our nutritionist started carrying a brand, and she tested Sawyer for it. Sawyer is our youngest daughter. And she resonated really well with it. Now we do muscle response testing. Go ahead and research that on your own. It has been phenomenal for our family. And it helps with, she said it was most likely for neurological things, which I find fascinating because just recently we found out that, it was probably like 7 months later, we found out she had her nerve pathway never developed for her left eye. And so she cannot see a whole lot out of her left eye. And so we're working on that to fix that. And so I just found that was fascinating that she, you know, it resonated, the CBD oil, for her neurological condition that she had with her eye. And so that's my experience with CBD oil. And so if, in the comments, if you want to write, if you have experience in it, if you have, you know, some of your questions that you have, I'll go back through tonight and look through those. Because there are so many questions. So many people are asking questions, trying to find information about it. And so I feel like this is just a really important topic to know more about for yourself, but then also to help others find knowledge in this as well. So I just ran into this Turkey Hill last, it was probably like 2 weeks ago. Turkey Hill is our little mini market here in Pennsylvania, and it said CBD sold here. And I was going, what? And then another friend of mine, she sent me a pamphlet, a picture of a pamphlet that she picked up at Sheetz, which is another mini market, all about CBD. And I'm going, what in the world? We are selling CBD everywhere. I believe Trump passed a law that you can, it's now legal, like CBD products. So I know there's confusion of like traveling with it, taking it across state lines, purchasing it. You can get it on the internet. That's how I order it. I've traveled many times with it already. Didn't have an issue. I actually had it right on my carry-on. So just some FYI things for you. But by 2024, CBD is going to be a $20 billion industry. That's like the projected rate of how fast it is growing. And so I just threw that out there for you guys to understand the rapid rate of CBD, the CBD industry right now, and the importance that you need to know in order to go forth and be an educated consumer. And so that's why you're here tonight. You're here to learn. And so I'm going to pop up this slideshow. So bear with me. All right. And so you guys will probably be off to the side and you'll be able to see it. All right. Can y'all see it? I think you should be able to. Okay, perfect. So I really just want you guys, the whole purpose of this is for you guys to be an educated consumer. When you are going out into the marketplace and you are purchasing CBD for yourself or your family, to know the ins and outs of it and how it works in our body. So I'm gonna get a little geeky on you, all right? I told you, this was a 6-hour class that I took, broken into modules. I'm condensing it and making it simplified so you guys understand this. And so it'll be about 45 minutes, maybe not that long, okay? So what we're gonna cover tonight are cannabinoids, right? That is the term, cannabinoids. Our own cannabinoid system in our body, cannabidiol, the one molecule, molecule that we find in our products, right? What CBD is, synergy, the synergy effect, quality, application, like how to use it, because I get that question a lot. Dose, which is another question I get, like how do I take it? How much do I take of it? And then safety as well. So we have 3 different types of cannabinoids. So we have an entire endocannabinoid system in our body. So that is one thing I feel like is really taboo. My nutritionist did say, she was commenting on one of my threads and she said, I have to tell my patients, CBD is not from Satan. It's not. God created us with an endocannabinoid system in our body, meaning we have receptor sites on our cells that will be able to use those molecules, but then we also create cannabinoids in our system. One of those is called an anandamide. Ananda comes from the Greek word ananda, meaning joy and bliss. And so you might have heard of like the runner's high. After you run like a really long time or you work out, you get this blissful feeling. And so it's really neurotransmitters that interact with those CB receptors on our cells. And so our body produces endocannabinoids, all right? Endo means internal, okay? Then we have phytocannabinoids, which are plant-based. So that's where our CBD comes from, but other plants, which we're gonna get into, make phytocannabinoids too. So they're ever present around us. CBD just has the, that highest amount. Synthetic, this is huge, guys. Listen to this. Synthetic cannabinoids. Yes, can you believe it? They make them in a lab. Huh, shocker, right? So that's the other thing. You have to know, where is your product? Where are your products coming from? Because you can synthesize these molecules to be replicated, right, in drug form. So phytocannabinoids, let's just turn to that real quick. So in other plants, you have, I'm sure you've heard of echinacea. I mean, people take that herb for immune support. And so there are phytocannabinoids in echinacea. Helichrysum is also another medicinal herb. It's also an essential oil, and you find it in that as well. Maybe you've heard of beta-carotene. I know I've talked a lot about it in our education group. Copaiba. Copaiba is an essential oil distilled from the resin of a tree. And there is beta-carotene in there. Very similar to CBD, but it's not the same thing, okay? Not the same thing. So you can find it in copaiba, clove, pepper, rosemary, cinnamon, basil, oregano, lavender, ylang ylang. You can find phytocannabinoids in there too. So it's not just in the hemp plant. You'll find more in hemp plants, obviously, but there are little amounts in other plants that God has created. So I'm going to touch on this quick, but I'm also going to come back around to this too, because there's different kinds of spectrums, different kinds of CBD products on the market that for you as a consumer going out and purchasing is important for you to know. There is full spectrum. Full spectrum contains the entire plant. It contains all of the phytocannabinoids, which there are 113 of them. So it contains all of them. It contains the terpenes, okay? Those molecules in the plant that works with our brain, works with our receptor sites. You find terpenes in all plant products. You find them in essential oils, which we're gonna talk about that. And so that is good, but then there's a downfall to that, Then you have the risk of failing a drug test because it contains THC. You're gonna have the THC, which is a phytocannabinoid. It's one of the molecules of the 113. But THC is what gives us that psychotropic feeling, right? It gives us that high feeling, and it can't be regulated. So it's super unpredictable. You don't know what's gonna happen when you take full spectrum CBD products. Then you have a broad spectrum. This is a little bit safer. You have a lower risk of failing a drug test. It's really just the full spectrum CBD, but it's purified. The THC is purified out of it. So the process of distilling the hemp plant, you purify that THC out, or as much as they can get. But again, it's still that risk of having THC in the product. Then you have the CBD isolate. So this is another form of CBD. It's just taking that one molecule, the cannabidiol molecule, one molecule out of 113. And so this is a super critical extraction of that one molecule, but there is absolutely no THC, so you will not fail a drug test. That is a huge concern for people because we're drug tested at work, right? But the downside of that is there's no synergy. And we're going to talk about synergy and the importance of having the terpenes and having all those other phytocannabinoids, because it interacts with that one other molecule, and it's so important in our body. Then you have what's called Smart Spectrum, which is something that is super brand new on the market, and it's taking that CBD isolate and infusing it with essential oils. Why? Because essential oils have all those beautiful terpenes, those monoterpenes, sesquiterpenes that interact with the molecules in our brain, or the cells in our brain, that can attach to receptor sites. So it's a beautiful, beautiful thing, which we're going to get into. All right. So the cannabinoid system in our body, what does it do? It is actually a communication system that regulates our human body, and it helps with cognition and physical functions. Okay, so brain and then the rest of our physical working body. So pain response. I know this is huge for people that have, you know, lower back pain, joint pain, arthritis. It's huge for those people. Immune response and inflammation. When your body is so inflamed, it cannot heal. And so that's when you have dis-ease set in, and dis-ease is disease, right? When you have too much inflammation. Energy balance and metabolism, appetite, mood, memory. Remember I said that this definitely helps with our brain and our cognitive function. So memory, this is huge for Parkinson's. I taught at a Parkinson's support group, and there was one gentleman that said he uses CBD, and it has significantly helped his tremors, his memory. So this is really, really important for, you know, or helpful for those patients. Stress response and how our body, you know, the rise in cortisol and just the stress response that we have day in, day out from our busy schedules, or if we are putting pressure on our body from working out or lifting or anything, that's still stress, right? Even though it's a good stress for us, it's still stress. So this is great for muscle recovery and recovering after a hard workout. And then motor learning as well, like I said, with Parkinson's patients and Alzheimer's, those fine motor skills. All right, so hang on. Okay, there we go. So I said we have some receptor sites in our body that are specifically designed for the cannabinoids that we're going to be consuming or putting on topically. You have CB1 and you have CB2 receptors. So CB1 receptor, and when I say receptor, I'm going to show you a picture of this in a little bit, but I don't know if you can see this little tiny picture in the corner here. Okay, this is a model of a cell, and see all those little bumps on there? Those are receptor sites. And neurotransmitters, hormones, molecules, they can come, and it's like a puzzle piece. If it fits, it gets absorbed into the cell, okay? And so some of these could be CB1, CB2 receptors. CB1, those affect our central nervous system, so brain, nervous system. CB2 is our immune system, and then our peripheral nervous system and other tissues and organs. Then we have orphan receptor sites, which I'm not even going to get into. I told you guys I'm going to make this understandable for you to be able to understand it. And again, I'll have this on my YouTube channel. You can go back and listen to it again, because I've had to listen to this stuff over and over and over again, research, read, because it's in depth, guys. So if you can see here on the screen, I'm going to move you guys over here a little bit. This is just a diagram of, actually I'm going to move you over here for right now. Okay. So this is a diagram of the cannabinoid system in our body and the CB1 receptors and the CB2 receptors. And so you'll even see that it's in our, reproductive organs. So men and women that are trying to have a baby, it helps with fertility as well. Lungs, heart, intestines, stomach, I mean, every single part of our body, CBD can help, right? So what does it actually do? Okay, this is a picture of neurons, okay? And so we have neurons that are sending signals back and forth all day long, right? Every single second of the day. And they're sending neurotransmitters, and that's like their signaling. And what that does, a neurotransmitter really just, it regulates everything. It regulates our brain function, our sleep, breathing, mood, appetite, fear too, anxiety. And so when you have neurotransmitters that are, or neurons that are firing too fast, you might get more anxious, or maybe you're not sleeping well, or maybe you have, you know, other things that are happening in your body. If they're firing too slow, same thing, right? You have a response in your body. And so we really want to be able to regulate these neurons and the neurotransmitters. And so that's what CBD does. We have, if you can see down here, there's like, it's like a little lock on these neurons that when you use quality CBD products, you will feel an effect. It's not going to be this euphoric high because there's no psychotropic THC in it when you're using good quality product. And so what it does is it regulates. So I'm going to keep that real simple for you. It regulates. So if a neuron is firing too fast and it needs to slow down, CBD, the cannabidiol, will help it to calm down, okay? If it's firing too slow, it will speed it up, okay? And so some of the neurotransmitters that you might be familiar with are dopamine, serotonin, GABA, norepinephrine, and those are, you know, a lot of those are our feel-good hormones too, like serotonin. It's stored in our gut. It's created in our gut, it's stored in our gut, and it's relayed to the brain through the vagus nerve. And so CBD can help with serotonin regulation, helps with digestion as well. So it all goes hand in hand. Our body is not separate, you know, gears that function individually. It functions all together. And so we need our body functioning in a rhythmic way so that you can thrive and you feel good. And so that's the basis of what CBD does in our system, the cannabidiol system. So CBD, what exactly is it? You know how it works in your body a little bit, but what is CBD? What's the difference between, you know, the different hemp species, so that you know you're getting, you know, what you're paying for, right? So cannabidiol is that one molecule. Remember I said there's 113 molecules in the hemp plant, okay? And when you have that full spectrum, you get all of them, but then you also get the risk of THC, right? And when we really just want that CBD, we want the cannabidiol, because that is what really just helps regulate those neurotransmitters. So cannabis is hemp. Maybe you've had, I know we eat hemp hearts in our house. They're the hemp seeds. Okay, guys. It says my internet is unstable, so I'm just going to keep rolling with this. Hopefully you can hear me. Hemp hearts. Hemp is used to make fabric. It's used to make rope. It's used, I mean, there's 50,000 uses for hemp. Back in the colonial days, they were mandated, colonists were mandated to grow hemp because it was such a sustainable agricultural crop. And it actually cleaned the soil, and it was regenerative, and so it was used for so many things. But then you had the different species that were starting to cross-pollinate, and I don't know where someone would get the idea to let's smoke this, right? I don't know. So then it just got nixed and it got banned, and it became illegal because of, you know, things that were happening. And so you have different species. So the sativa species is grown for the seed production, fiber, and all of those more industrial uses. Whereas indica is used for drug production and the therapeutic properties that it does in the body. So there's other species as well, but just know that no matter what species you have, you still have that spike in THC during the growing season. It really comes down to how it is processed. And in Pennsylvania, right down the road from us, there is an organic, it's called Speedwell Forge Organics. And so it's one of like the first farms here in Pennsylvania to be growing organic hemp, and it's for CBD. There's going to be a production or a processing plant in Colombia. How they process, I don't know, but that is something you want to be mindful of, where you're getting your CBD from and how they process. All right, so bear with me here on some science stuff, right? So we talked about those CB1 and CB2 receptors, right? THC is good because it activates the CB1 receptors in our brain, but you also have that psychotropic, feel that you might get from it. Whereas CBD doesn't really activate the CB1 receptors, okay? And so the cannabidiol doesn't activate that. It activates CB2, but you're not gonna get the psychotropic. So you have, what's the lesser of two evils, right? Do you wanna have the psychotropic effects and the risks of what it does in your body, or do you wanna play it safe, right? There is an alternative, which I'm gonna talk about. So here's that chart again. Remember, I'm gonna bring this back around because this is a lot of information. So you have full spectrum that's on the market that has everything in it, which you have the risk of the THC, the psychotropic effects, failing drug tests, but then again, the positive effects of what it does in our body because it has all the terpenes and all the cannabinoids, 113 of them in there. Then you have the broad spectrum. It's everything without THC, right? Or as much as they can pull out, right? As much as they can pull out, but you still have that risk of failing that drug test. Then you have the CBD isolate, where in the process, they purify just that one molecule, but you lower everything else. You have no synergy. So it doesn't work as well in our body. Then you have the synergy effect when you add in essential oils, that then it can activate the CB1 receptor sites and has that synergistic effect in our body. Are y'all with me? Remember, you can go back through and listen to this again. Okay, so purified CBD is the best way to really ensure that there's no THC. And here's a story for you guys. I have a friend, she works at the prison and she gets regular drug tests. And so she really wanted to use CBD for her back pain, her lower back pain, because she was on pretty hard meds and she wanted to get off of them. And so she ordered herself a drug test. You can order them online. You can order anything online, right? And she took it after she took her CBD, and it came up that she was clear, free and clear, no THC. She passed her drug test, the one that she gave herself. But the also beautiful thing about that is she didn't have the back pain and she wasn't on her medications, and it worked instantly because it lowered that inflammation in her body and her body could heal. So again, that problem is when you isolate that one molecule, you lose their synergy. So how do we get that synergy back? And what is synergy? Synergy is the combination of two components that result in a greater effect than the sum. So think 2 + 2 = 10, okay? Think about, I know for me, just as an example, like when I'm working by myself, I don't get as much done. But when I have my dynamic duo, my husband, and when we work together, it's like it is a synergistic effect. Like we can get so much more done. And so that is what synergy is. When you have two things working together, that gives you a greater result than what the sum is. So, 10 + 10 = 100, that kind of thing. So also with synergy, when you're adding in those essential oils, it buffers the effects of any THC as well that could be possibly present, which I said when you isolate, you really don't have that presence of THC. And so here's a research study. You can take a screenshot of that if you want to. I'm going to go into what this whole article really is about, but you can do some research, take a screenshot, and you can research on your own what synergy is and the benefits of having terpenes added to your phytocannabinoid, your CBD, right? So terpenes in essential oils. So I'm just going to grab my lemon here. So terpenes are present in essential oils. Like in lemon, there's a limonene in lemon, and they produce a therapeutic effect in our body when you have properly distilled therapeutic grade essential oils, and they contribute to the entourage, that synergy effect in our body. Phytocannabinoids, when you have cannabidiol and terpenes together, when they're mixed together, they have that synergistic effect in our body. So 2 + 2 = 10 kind of thing. And it helps in respect with pain, inflammation, depression, anxiety, addiction, and epilepsy, okay? That was that study. You can research that. All right, so here are some things. Like I said, limonene in lemon. You can look at these molecules, getting kind of geeky on you guys, but limonene in lemon helps with, and you can look off to the right side, there's some sciencey stuff for you, but it helps with reflux. It helps with, it's like a decongestant, really, for any kind of mucus or lymphatic issues that we're dealing with. Pinene from pine is anti-inflammatory. Lavender, so you have linalool, is anti-anxiety. It is relaxing. So we have this calm roller right here, and this is infused with lavender and then also some orange oil and some other essential oils in it to give it that synergistic effect. We have beta-carotene. Remember, we can find that. It's one of those, phytocannabinoids. And in, hang on, guys. Oh no. Hang on. I'm gonna get this back up. No. Let me see. What I can do here. Bear with me, guys. There we go. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Hang on, guys. Now. I just gotta find where it was, right? There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks for being patient. All right, so beta-carotene in pepper helps with addiction. You'll see sometimes people will use black pepper essential oil to help them kick a habit, an addiction, like smoking, using it, breathing it in, putting it on a toothpick. And so when you combine that with CBD, it just has that synergistic effect. And then you also have things like lemon balm, orange, green tea. You have those molecules that are going to have that synergistic effect when combined with CBD. So just take a look at our cells, okay? Our one little cell has all those kinds of interactions, okay? And so for one molecule to be isolated, you're not going to have great effects when you just use that one CBD molecule, that one tiny molecule out of 113. But when you combine it with some of those other molecules that you see here from essential oils, you have this crazy effect in the body that we call synergy. And so that's just one molecule that's just one cell in our body. We have 37.2 trillion cells in our body. So imagine that working in our system in a beautiful way. And so when you are applying oils, when you're applying CBD, this goes for good things and bad things. When you're applying anything to your skin and it gets absorbed into your bloodstream at like a rapid rate of 26 seconds. When you put something on your skin, good or bad, it gets absorbed into your skin, but it's in every single cell in your body in 20 minutes. So if you're applying CBD and you're applying things that you're using for therapeutic properties and you're using it for good, imagine how amazing your cells are just working at that rapid rate so that it can lower inflammation, it can increase mood, it can help with anxiety, it can help with like all the fear, helps with I said inflammation, right? Appetite, sleep, all those things that we talked about at the beginning. So quality, having quality CBD products is why you guys are here. You want to learn this. So fake CBD oil is rampant because like I said, 2024, this industry is going to be $20 billion industry. And so people are just diving in, selling it at Turkey Hill, at Sheetz, at Rutter's, at your local mini markets, and you're finding it all over the place. I mean, online. So we're bombarded with this. We're not sure, what to do. We want to use it, but we don't know where to turn. So people are just trying to get their hands into this because they see it as an opportunity to make money, right? So fake CBD oil is a rampant problem. There's an article down here. You can take a screenshot of that if you want to, but investigations have been done already on this. NBC6 found that over 50% of CBD oils they tested had less than half the amount of CBD that was actually in it than it was advertised. So you have to watch for false advertising as well. The one thing about hemp is a regenerative crop. It cleans the soil, so it's going to suck up anything that's in that soil. So you want to make sure that you have a certified organic CBD product, like from an organic farm, not one that says they practice organic farming practices, but one that actually holds an organic handler's license. Because what hemp does is it pulls all the toxins out of the soil. So it cleans the soil while providing minerals to the soil. So it's a wonderful crop to grow, but you have to make sure you're getting quality CBD oil because you don't want any that has heavy metals or pesticides in it because guess what? You're consuming that and that gets stuck in our fat cells and then we're going to have issues later on in life. So CBD right now, there's no control, there's no regulation. So people can just do what they want and put what they want on the label. So the solution to this is Nature's Ultra. How many of you use this? How many of you love it? The other experience I had when we started using it from the nutritionist, I had no clue. I mean, it was the first CBD oil that I had used. And so I was like, all right, I could maybe get used to this. It's a little funky tasting, has a weird texture. Yeah, it's kind of green. I'm not quite sure about this. When I tried the Nature's Ultra, it's clear. It's in MCT oil. There's no other additives. It's MCT oil, CBD, some stevia, and then the essential oils. That's it. It's clear and it tastes amazing. No funky texture. All right. So this is way better. And this Nature's Ultra has partnered with Young Living. Young Living is the oldest essential oil company in the United States. They are the pioneers of the essential oil movement here. And we have the seed to seal process, the seed to seal guarantee. And so all of our oils are grown and distilled for therapeutic properties and for their therapeutic purposes. And so nothing is distilled for a profit, it's distilled for a purpose. And so sometimes you'll see our oils, they go out of stock because the growing season's over and we can't just pull plants from thin air, right? We don't buy in other oils from other companies. So we have our own farms, and then we partner with farms that practice the seed to seal. And so Young Living partnered with Nature's Ultra. So this is a beautiful relationship here, because Nature's Ultra is the first organic farm in the United States. They carry an organic handler's license, and so they are legit. It's not any company saying we practice organic practices. They actually hold an organic license. And so there is Young Living oils infused with Nature Ultra's CBD. So their CBD is a CBD isolate, where they just isolate that one molecule, so there is no risk of THC. And then they add in those essential oils in a beautiful way to add that synergistic approach for therapeutic purposes in our body. So everything is third-party verified. There's no pesticides used, there's no heavy metals in the soil, and there's no solvents used during the extraction process. And this is really important too, because when companies distill essential oils, and even when they distill CBD, they use harsh solvents to extract the oils from the plants, because it just makes it go quicker and you get more production. But those solvents, then you'll find them in the oils, and we're consuming them, and then they're in our body, and our body doesn't know what to do with them. And so we don't want those toxins in our body. And so this is, again, you can take a screenshot of this, but the purest on the market. Okay, so how do you apply this? Ingestion. You'll find that people ingest CBD. They'll just put it in drinks. They drink it down. I mean, I have CBD chocolates. People put it in gummies. That's good if you're using it for GI issues. But what happens is it has to be processed by our stomach, the high acidity. You really only see it in your blood like 3 hours later. And so if you would do a drug test. And so you don't see a huge result from just taking it internally unless you're using it for GI issues. Now, topical. Most people will use it topically, and here's how they use it topically. Sublingually. When you put it under your tongue, it's really, you are ingesting it, but when you let it sit there for a minute, 30 seconds to a minute, and I'm going to show you how I do it right now. And these childproof caps are legit, guys, like legit. It's 1 dropper full, so about a teaspoon under your tongue, and you hold it there for 30 seconds to a minute. Sublingually, I'm going to swallow it because I have to talk, but I would hold it there for a minute. But sublingually is still considered topical because it's getting into those mucous membranes and into your bloodstream super fast. And so that is not considered, that's not considered ingesting, really. When you put it on your skin, so there's a muscle rub that I absolutely love. I use it for neck tension, headaches, and I put it right on my neck, down my neck, temples. And this one is infused with like peppermint, wintergreen, all those really tingly menthol oils that activate it super fast, and you're going to feel the results from it. So this you can just put right on, and again, into your bloodstream within 26 seconds because you're putting it on topically, and then in every single cell in your body within 20 minutes. And then there's also a roller. This is a calm roller for, moods, to help, what it does, calm, right? And so I'll roll that like on my forearm. Smells amazing. Use it before bed. I like to put it a little bit on my nose so I can smell it. Back of my neck, behind my ears, that soft spot on your skin. Spine, you can put it on your kid's spine. And yes, I use this with my kids all the time. They use it under their tongue, and yeah, it works like a charm, guys. All right, so dosing. There really isn't like a set, I can't really say, yes, use this dose at this time. It's not medicine, guys. So what I do is I use it, in the morning, at lunch, and at night if I know I'm going to have a stressful day. I love to use the droppers before my kids come home, because when all three of my girls are home, it gets kind of chaotic in my house when I'm trying to make dinner and I feel like I'm on edge. So this kind of just mellows me out a little bit. But there is the droppers. There's 500 milligrams and there's 1,000 milligrams. I started with 1,000. That's just my preference. But if you're just starting, you can do the 500 milligrams and go slow and work your way up. I just did the 1,000. You do you, and you see what works for you. The balm comes in 300 and 600 milligrams. I have 300 and it works. I don't know if you're still on here, but I saw you pop in. There's a friend of mine at the gym, and he asked me to compare his CBD lotion that he got at, I believe it was the GNC online, to the Nature's Ultra. And so we were comparing, and his is a high dose. It was like 2,400 milligrams compared to the 300 milligrams here. And so I gave him a sample of mine and I said, use it and see what what feels best. And he actually he told me that he preferred this, and he could feel it working quicker, faster, and better compared to that high dose of the CBD lotion that he was using. Reason being, you have that synergistic effect. You have the essential oils in here, and it's going to work faster in your system and you're going to see the results. So again, you have to know your body, body mass, fat, epigenetics, all of that, right? And so again, it comes down to experimenting with the dosage. And then safety. This is the last thing. So always check with your doctor if you are pregnant, nursing, or on prescription medications. There's not a whole lot of research out there on prescription medications and using them with CBD. So always talk to your doctor. If you are one that you're like, I really want to get off some of my high medications, have that conversation with your doctor and wean off. Don't ever go cold turkey and say, I'm going to do CBD instead, and it's going to be beautiful, because there's, you have side effects when you go off of a medication cold turkey. And so you want to make sure you talk with your doctor and have that conversation. Now, pregnant and nursing, I always say that's up to a mama. I've found some articles that say it's actually wonderful while you're nursing, and it actually helps the baby remain calmer, because they have an endocannabinoid system too, right? And so when you're calm, the baby realizes that, and you're their limbic system. And so if you can remain calmer, that baby's going to be calmer. And so you do you. If it was me, I would be using it. But you have to know your comfort level with that. So again, just always check with your doctor. I'm not a doctor, not a nurse, not in the medical profession. I'm not here to diagnose, cure, treat anything. But I'm just giving you options, right? Options. And I want you to go out, do your own research. I want to be that pivot point for you guys to say, is this true? I think I might try this. I just want to give you a different way. Okay. So once again, I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel probably by this weekend, so you can go back through and watch this. Wellfolk Revival is my YouTube channel, Wellfolk Revival for everything. Let's connect. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. You can email me. And I know your other question is, how do I get this in my hands? So if you have a Young Living account, this is super easy. You can go to your virtual office where it says one-time order. There's a little drop down and it says link to Nature's Ultra. So once again, we can't have, Young Living can't sell Nature's Ultra on their website just yet. We're working through legalities and they're trying to work as fast as they can, but because this is so new and we're an established company and CBD is a whole new market, we want to play it safe and we want to have these products for you. So you can still get your discount. Link your account to Nature's Ultra so that you can get the discount. Use your same email address as you do for Young Living, and then you'll just go over to Nature's Ultra, you'll put your order in, and it's free shipping, and it comes in like 2 days. It comes super, super quick. If you don't have a Young Living account, that's super easy. I can help you set one up. And again, Young Living, you don't have to order monthly. It's not one of those companies where you have to be locked into like a monthly thing where you have to order every single month. So I can help you with that. Just message me via Instagram, Facebook, or my email. or you can text me as well. My phone number's on there. You guys can get in touch with me. So if you have questions, let me know, but I'm going to turn the sharing off and see if there's any questions. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yes, Kelly. Okay. So if there's no THC in the CBD isolate, it should not fail because it's 99 point, it says it on the back of the bottle here. 99% and more plus THC free. There's 0 THC in this, so you wouldn't fail. If you just have the broad spectrum or the full spectrum, there still is a chance that you could fail. Well, definitely with full spectrum, there's a chance that you can fail a drug test. Broad spectrum, you still have the chance to fail a drug test. The CBD isolate with the essential oils, you won't. Like I said, my friend ordered one on the internet and took it, and she was perfectly fine. So if you want to check around with it and play around with it and order your own drug test, you can totally do that. Yes, Jenna, you answered that. Thank you. Awesome, Ken. Yeah, you are still on here. Awesome. Yeah, so when you're using, I use the drops and I use the balm together, or I'll use the drops and the calm roller. I just love using them together. So I use it internally, under my tongue, sublingually, but then I'm also applying it right to my skin. So I absolutely love this balm. It's like one of my favorites. I usually feel really, really calm when I use it. Plus you're getting the aromatherapeutic benefits too. Yes, Ken. The essential oils do serve to facilitate absorption of the CBD. And I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. Young Living's supplements are also infused with essential oils. And there has been studies on that because it actually drives, the oils drive the nutrients into the cells at a much more rapid rate and at a more abundant rate. So it's more bioavailable in our system. So we're actually absorbing more nutrients. So the same thing would be true for the CBD. It's actually going to, they kind of just, again, that synergistic effect, they work together. They have a higher frequency, so they vibrate faster and then also faster in our body, and so it drives in the CBD molecule. So great question. If you guys have any other questions, let me know, message me, get in touch with me. I'd be happy to help you, navigate this CBD road, because I know it's kind of confusing. And I just, again, thank you for being here tonight, learning and taking time to become an educated consumer. I really value that you gave up your evening just to come learn with me. So again, have a great evening. I'm going to end this, but again, if you have any more questions, let me know. All right, guys, bye.